Rest in peace, Joe Lindner. Joe Lindner, aka Joesthetics, aka Alien Gainz, passed away the other day at the age of 30, presumably from an aneurysm. For those who don't know, Joesthetics has been a massive pillar of the online fitness influencer space for quite some time now. He has 9 million followers on Instagram, about 1 million on YouTube, and his meteoric rise to fame was partly due to his alien gains. Here we can see a pretty gnarly clip of this insane contraction / spasm. He was also just a very funny and charismatic person. I never met the man, but from everything everyone has said who's ever been in contact with him has just only said that he was caring and accepting and generous. He was also very transparent about his drug use. This is something that is severely lacking in the fitness influencer space. It's kind of a double-edged sword. If you're not natty and you don't talk about it, everyone just assumes you're trying to be a fake natty and trying to pass something off. On the other hand, if you're open about your PED usage, you then will maybe convince a lot of your fan base, which in our day and age is predominantly made up of children, that they need to use some oftentimes very toxic substances in order to look like their favorite influencer. That being said, being more open about your usage, you can also talk about the downsides and the negative effects of it. This is exactly what Joe did on his very last social media post before he passed. The text is pretty small, so I'll read this for you quick. When I lost my gains because I went off of everything for 1 year, but then could not recover my own test levels, so went back on TRT. Trust me, I tried to stop, but be aware it might have had long-term effects for your life. TRT is a big commitment, keep that in mind. Last pics show a lot of size differences like swollen, not swole, you can see it, chest, etc. all slimmed down. Even my waist is smaller back then. To be aware, the comparison is left no pump and right, natty pic is full pump. And if we just scroll through these quickly, and I mean, obviously to us in the fitness space, like, yeah, we could pick out like, you know, how much more cut he is here, how much more full he seems, like his muscle bellies. But this is honestly just body dysmorphia at its finest. Like him already here, which is supposedly the not as good image, is, you know, top 0.0001% of the male population. You know, this is what we do to ourselves sometimes when all we do is look at fucking goosed, you know, aesthetic young men all day. We start to compare ourselves to pictures like this, and it's really just not, you know, the healthiest thing. Now, regarding his passing, we got information from his girlfriend, who in an Instagram post said that he had died of an aneurysm and had been complaining of neck pain a couple days prior. Presumably, this was a cerebral aneurysm, which is a brain aneurysm. Essentially, it's a weak or a thin spot in an artery that then fills up rapidly with blood. They can then burst or hemorrhage, and they are considered an almost random thing. This is where my hot take comes into fruition. A lot of people are taking the time to talk about his death, not in a sense of mourning, not in a sense of compassion for his friends or loved ones, but instead to attack his PED usage and the fact that he was vaccinated for COVID-19. This is beyond fucked up. Regardless of your politics or your belief on vaccinations or anything else, trying to use this guy's death immediately after the fact, when all of his family and friends are just trying to mourn and appreciate him and think about all he's done, to use this time to try to push your fucking vile political bullshit is absurd. I can't even imagine just how heartbroken you would be if you just woke up and your partner was gone, and then you have people trying to talk to you blaming it on their fucking PED usage or the fact that they got vaccinated. It upsets me greatly. Again, I do not care about your takes on the vaccine or the quarantining or the entire pandemic as a whole. Have some fucking empathy. Now, are PEDs healthy? Well, there are ways to do them in a more healthy manner, but innately, no, they are not necessarily healthy things, especially the prolonged abuse of them, especially some of the ancillaries used along with them. A big thing with PED usage is you take a drug and it has a certain side effect. So you take another drug to combat that side effect, and that drug has a side effect, and so on and so forth. Those that primarily believe in harm reduction will often tell you to use a dose of whatever compound you're hoping to run in a way that makes it so you don't have to use as many ancillaries. Other people want to just throw shit at a wall and see what sticks. And then there are other things not related at all to treating side effects, but are still used in order to try to have a great physique, such as diuretics. If you want to retain less water, a good way to go about that is by taking a diuretic, which will have you go to the restroom more, which will lower your water weight. This will make you look more lean, make you look less bloated. And if you have to be a fitness influencer year round, meaning you have to stay at sub 10% and look fucking freaky all day, then they could be a useful tool. They are also extremely dangerous. You will be depleting yourself of, one, water, but also electrolytes. When you have to stay that lean, you're typically in a calorie deficit or at the least at maintenance for long periods of time, and this can be very rough for hormone production because of lower fat amounts. Obviously, when you're having some assistance, you don't need as much fat in your diet for proper hormone production, but you still need it for vitamin absorption. You still need it for proper cognitive function. It's very hard to get in all the required micronutrients that you need for proper health when you are in such a restricted diet year-round. I don't know Joe's life, but a lot of people in his position often end up partying, so maybe they're taking stimulants because their sleep is fucked from the absolute rough lifestyle that they are living, which, although they look amazing, is not healthy. Maybe he drank on top of using oral steroids, which, say bye-bye to your liver and kidneys. Maybe he took painkillers. This is a thing that happens to tons of bodybuilders. They're in constant agony. Maybe he had sleep apnea, so he's taking some pills to help him sleep at night, even though that's not really how that works. Sleep apnea in itself can be terrible for your health. I don't know. I don't know him personally, so I don't want to jump to any conclusions and just baselessly claim that his PED usage or his fucking vaccines are what caused his aneurysm. But, as I touched on before with the diuretics making you pass more electrolytes, let's get back to the alien Gainz for one moment. This is alien Gainz. It is a CAV3 genetic mutation. The CAV3 gene provides instructions for making a protein called caveolin-3, which is found in the membrane surrounding muscle cells. This protein is the main component of caveolae, which are small pouches in the muscle cell membrane. Within the caveolae, the caveolin-3 protein acts as a scaffold to organize other molecules that are important for cell signaling and maintenance of the cell structure. These molecules include the proteins that make up sodium channels, which transport positively charged sodium atoms, sodium ions, into cells. Sodium channels play a key role in the cell's ability to generate and transmit electrical signals. In cardiac muscle, sodium channels are involved in maintaining the heart's normal rhythm. Caveolin-3 may also help regulate calcium levels in the muscle cell, which control muscle contraction and relaxation. That is alien Gainz. It is a condition where you do not produce enough of a certain protein, therefore you essentially have muscle spasms due to a lower amount of electrolytes. Unfortunately, here's a quick study of low serum calcium and magnesium levels and rupture of intracranial aneurysms. Here's another one, calcium, magnesium, and subarachnoid hemorrhage. Now, to my knowledge, there, at least if not yet, hasn't been a complete autopsy done on Joe. This is all information coming from his girlfriend, where we got the idea of the aneurysm. I'm not sure how confirmed that is or not. Not to imply that she would lie or anything like that, just that when you're dealing with something so insanely traumatic and stressful like this, it's easy not to have all the facts or want to put out a statement before everything is confirmed. But if it was indeed an aneurysm, it's very possible that it has something to do with the fact that he had a genetic mutation that led him to having less electrolytes in his body, and maybe combine that with the lifestyle that may have had him passing more electrolytes through other ways. I am not a doctor. I don't want to put my own, I don't want to throw my own hat in all of this of like these baseless fucking claims. But people have such a misunderstanding of how life works, how people work, and how vaccines work and how steroids work. So they are just trying to use this moment in time as a way to preach their fucking views, as if anyone who knows Joe personally would give a shit about. If it was PED related, do you not think that he didn't know the risks? He did, as do the majority of people that at least are intelligent who take steroids. Obviously, yes, we shouldn't be parading them around like they are some fucking like health supplement that everyone should be taking. But for the most part, it's pretty well understood that they are not good for you. And if anything, they are so heavily fear-mongered, a lot of people think they are a lot worse for you than they actually are. Normally, when we're talking about steroids, we're not talking about someone dying at 30. We're talking about them dying at 60, 20 years before they should have. So I don't think that PEDs are really the thing to blame here. As for the vaccine, I don't really feel like getting into a big anti-vaxxer argument at the moment, but I think you'd be pretty hard-pressed to prove that that is what caused it. A lot of people said that, oh, you got 4 shots, so that's why it happened. Well, I've had 4. I haven't had an aneurysm. Why does your N=1 of Joe passing away surpass my N=1 of me not? It's just more bullshit of people using a traumatic event to try to push their own fucked up, myopic view of the world. I mean, even me, I am using this guy's death in a weird way. I have a fucking clickbait thumbnail. I am using his passing in order to make a video, which... I mean, I don't get paid for this, but say one day I did, this video would maybe have ads on it, which is fucked up. At least my video is trying to make the point to not use his death for trying to push your own fucked up, antiquated views of stuff on people. I don't know. It's a complex thing. It's weird. I almost feel like hypocritical making this video, but I think that's just me trying to be overly compassionate in a way. You know, of using a little bit of clickbait or whatever, it means that more people hear this and it changes someone's mind to stop saying these shitty things and instead has them experience empathy for like the first time in their fucking life. Then that's probably a net positive. More Plates, More Dates had a video where he talked about this, where he was accused of clickbaiting in a video, and he's like, yeah, if I don't clickbait, then less people see it, and more people are going to get hurt by using this steroid the wrong way. And so maybe it's the better of two evils. You know, maybe it's just the world we live in, that to get clicks, you have to do some silly stuff sometimes. I don't know. Joe seemed like a great guy, but I never knew him. I don't want to pretend to have some parasocial relationship with him. He was really, really funny. He seemed very, very genuine, and he was in great fucking shape. And if you want to use the sad, premature passing of a young man to try to push your own political views, or to try to push this fear-mongering anti-PED narrative, go fuck yourself. Most of the people with these takes I've seen, like on Twitter especially, never even followed any of Joe's stuff or posted any fitness content. They are just vultures fucking hovering around like this shitty situation, just waiting to take whatever pieces they can. And it's yeah. It's not cool. This happens every single time someone passes away in the fitness space. You know, people will instantly want to blame the PEDs and none of the other stuff that the person was using or the lifestyle they were using. I mean, here from the Brain Aneurysm Foundation, it says that the annual rate of rupture is approximately 8 to 10 per 100,000 people. About 30,000 people in the United States suffer a brain aneurysm rupture each year. There are almost 500,000 deaths worldwide due to brain aneurysms, and half the victims are younger than 50. So of those 500,000 people, 250,000 of which are under the age of 50, did they all look like Joe? Did they all use PEDs the way he did? Were they all vaccinated throughout history before the COVID vaccine was even a fucking thing? Or was it because of the COVID shots? You know, I would be more empathetic to people in Joe's family that are saying these things, because they have the right to be irrational right now and upset and just angry at the world and want to be pissed at anything and everything that could have caused this. But for random fucks on Twitter, you are despicable. The world should have taken you long before it ever took Joe. You slimy sack of shit. I probably shouldn't just like wish death upon random people. That's probably not cool. But I think you get the point. If it was an aneurysm, which is what everyone is presuming it is at the moment, it's virtually random. As shitty as that is to say, You know, that's the world we live in. It happens. It's a fucking tragedy. But please do not use this tragedy as a way to try to push your fucking shitty narrative. Let the family weep. And guys, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Tell your family you love them.